There we are on screen then. Max Shields on the inside and Sandro Ballesteros on the outside. That'll be your front row. Look like Jacob Dukes as well. He who came through was awarded the victory after a penalty applied to drivers in front for front fairing. Will go off row number 2 this time. He is there on the outside. So it's Shields and Ballesteros leading the way. Carter and Dukes on the second row. Pennington and Hurst Grover on row number 3. Row 4 then we'll see Ethan Hagen, Sam Stoner, Finley Whiting and Jensen Mason, with Jaden Hewitt and Bartek Filipiak on row number 6. Then we've got Max Rowley and Nicholas Ellis, with Curtis Latimer and Ollie Naylor in front of Sam Ardolino, who, on the track at the least, won the opening race of the day, but then picked up a 5-second penalty for a front fairing penalty, which basically means that the front nose, if there's enough force applied to it, it pushes it in and drops it down. And there you are given a 5-second penalty. That one is not up for debate if you have some contact between the nose, where it pushes the nose in. So if there's enough force applied, it pushes in and it drops down. So that is a fairly easy way for us to, it stops the loading of one driver into the back of another. They make their way round up the hill for the second time. It's a rolling start here then for our Junior Max. We have the gold helmet of Shields leading the way. Ballesteros, who returns to the JKC Championship after a few rounds away, focusing on the Saxo Championship that he also races in, albeit that one's cars rather than karts. They're going to make their way down the hill then. Shields obviously off pole position. He gets to dictate the pace and lead them over the line. See how we go. Into the acceleration zone we go, and the outside sweeps all the way round, and Sandro Ballesteros and Jacob Dukes get a huge jump on Max Shields there. We'll have to have a look on timing for that one, because as they come over the line, they may well have been too far in front of Max Shields. The pole sitter, he needs to cross the line within a certain amount of time of those that are further back, because if not, then drivers may well get penalised for a jump start. The pole sitter, he leads the pace, he dictates to everybody else. If he wants to come over the start line at walking pace, that's how it works as they enter that acceleration zone. Moving through then onto that first lap, and it looks like Shields has been jumped by Tom Carter as well, and Carter's going to dive down the inside of Sandro Ballesteros into Paddock Bend. Jacob Dukes then leads him over the line for the first time with Tom Carter, Sandro Ballesteros, but now Max Shields moves to the inside, and he's through by the time they get to the top of the hill. So that drops Shields down into 4th in front of Pennington, Haig, Hurst Grover, Whiting, Filipiak and Ellis. Your top 10. Dukes has already broken away from the chasing pack, having got through early on. Tim Winters has been on saying, come on, Sam Stoner. Well, he's currently running in 13th, having started towards the back. He's going to start making his way through, hopefully, and hopefully for you as well. Tim, keep watching. We're only 2 laps in as they come over the line. Dukes leads by a second from Carter and Shields. Ballesteros in 4th place, but he's coming under pressure now from Amelia Pennington, and she dives down the inside into the uphill right. As well does Ethan Hagen, the red cart there. He's come through, and Ballesteros loses 2 in 2 corners. So Haig now up into 5th place. Pennington into 4th in her first outing here at JKC, giving a very, very good account of herself. Now tries to catch up onto the back of Max Shields, driver she spent most of Heat 1 battling with, as they move through the field together from the back of the pack. Ethan Haig, though, down the inside into Paddock, and he slides through into 4th place. So Ethan Haig, the driver, on a charge, as our leading trio starting to close up. They look like they're fairly far apart, but on the last lap, Tom Carter took 0.3 of a second out of Jacob Dukes. And as soon as they catch up and start battling with each other, the remaining 7/10 of a second back to Max Shields will close very, very quickly. Ethan Haig, the driver on the move though, making his way through the pack, having got past Ballesteros and Pennington in the last 2 laps. Expect him to try and now break away from that 21 car, and Finn Whiting, who's got through now, I think, on Sandro Ballesteros as well in the 81 he has. It looks like it's allowed Nicholas Ellis to come through as well. Ardolino comes over the line in 9th, up from 16th place on the grid at the start. It's a drive we know can go very, very well around GYG, having on the track won the opening race of the day in our junior Rotax class. The gap has closed then now to sub 0.4 of a second. You can see it at the top of the hill. There are your 2 leaders. Jacob Dukes, who had a gap of almost a second at the start, has had this one reeled in by the 45 of Tom Carter. The gap now 1.1 seconds back to Max Shields. It shows us 1.4 on the screen, but that's back from your leader as they come through and over the line. 0.2 of a second. Shields not able to close in just yet, but we've not had any overtaking opportunities from Carter. How long will Carter be patient enough here to wait on the back of Jacob Dukes? Not at all is the answer as he slides through at Spoon Corner. Not sure how much he was going to wait there. I thought he might have stuck it out for a few more laps, knowing that he had the pace on Jacob Dukes, but now he must be confident that he can pull away, because now he's given Dukes the opportunity to attack in the remaining half of this race if Dukes can stick with. Let's see whether Tom Carter can break away. He had enough pace, 0.3 per lap pretty much, to close in on Jacob Dukes. And the gap already out to 0.4 as they make their way up the hill towards the sweeping right. Dukes can't get alongside into Spoon. And now they head back down the hill. 1.6 is the gap back to Max Shields in 3rd place. Haig closing in though in 4th, and he's dragging Finlay Whiting and Amelia Pennington along as well. You see Ballesteros and Ollie Naylor on the back of Harry Hurst Grover for the final position inside the top 10. Hurst Grover there with the blue helmet with the red flicks around the outside, and number 14 on the cart. Personal best for Pennington in 6th place. There she is, just coming her way round the club corner. And that long drag up the hill. And then it's hard on the brakes. So Haig, having got through at a fair rate of knots through the pack, has slowed in terms of his progress whilst when moving up into 4th place. Hasn't been able to close in too much on Max Shields in front, but maybe that's because he's got Finlay Whiting all over the back. Now Whiting, who moved off into retirement, having completed at least half race distance in the opening heat of the day, which means that he will pick up points for that race. You have to get to the halfway mark in order to do so, but still means that it's only going to be points for 16th place, which is going to drop him well down the order, as looks like their Hurst Grover and Ollie Naylor got into a little bit as they made their way up the hill. Naylor in the background was snaking across the track like he was towing a caravan. As now Whiting does get to the inside of Ethan Haig at the top of the hill and moves through into 4th place. A great move there from Finn Whiting on Ethan Haig. Haig not really expecting that one, and Whiting managing to get through down the inside into the top corner. Now the run up the hill, he's got enough to stay in front of Ethan Haig, but Ardolino is the driver that's now right behind them up in 6th place, having made up 10 places so far, and still with 1 minute and 10 seconds plus 1 lap remaining. There the driver is in the background, the 16 with the red, white and blue helmet, has managed to make his way past Amelia Pennington and Nicholas Ellis in the previous 2 laps, and now is right on the back of this train as they go down the hill. Ellis down the inside of Pennington into the compression corner. He gets through nice and cleanly. 47 seconds on the clock, so we're going to get 3 more laps in here. Tom Carter well down the road, the gap for around about 4 seconds. This battle is Ardolino. We saw there got to the inside, I think, of Ethan Haig, and through he goes. The move started halfway up the straight. We saw him dip out of the slipstream, and he dives through into the spoon corner. Carter then leads the way, 29 seconds as he's going to make his way down this hill. You can see here the amount of change they have, the amount of elevation change. The kart dropping away, going light before they go round the final corner. Crosses the line with 8 seconds to go, which means we're going to have 2 more laps in junior Rotax heat number 2. The time at the top has elapsed, which means the last lap board will be out next time. And Ardolino down the inside of Finlay Whiting for 4th place. A good move at the spoon corner, right at the top of the hill. It's a great overtake. Still now he's going to have around about half a second, maybe a little bit more, to close up on the back of Maximus Shields in this final lap as they come down the hill. Leader is already through in a few seconds, I think, to take the last lap board. There we get confirmation as Tom Carter comes over the line. What's the gap between Shields and Ardolino? Ardolino, fastest lap of the race, 42.475, as he closes in on the back of Maximus Shields up the hill. Might catch him towards the end of this lap, but it's going to be in the tight complex of corners. 7/10 was the gap between the two of them. Carter leads though by 1.8, and it's going to be a comfortable victory since finding a way past Jacob Dukes for Tom Carter. Down the hill he comes then for the final time, with Dukes a comfortable second. Then we're going to have to look and see who appears in 3rd place. Will it be Shields? Will it be Ardolino? Last lap board and the checkered flag then for Carter. Dukes is second, and Shields comes across the line in 3rd place in front of Sam Ardolino. What an effort, coming through from 16th up into 4th. Finlay Whiting gets 5th in front of Haig, Ellis, Pennington, Naylor and Hurst Grover, completing the top 10, with Ballesteros, Hewitt, Stoner, Latimer and Rowley completing your runners in front of Bartek Filipiak, who looks like he's had an off at some point because he is much further down than what I would expect to see him when he comes through over that line.